So let's take a look at how we can actually apply what you've just seen with attribute selectors into our page and actually select some things. So we're going to come in and do our normal jQuery selector. Now if I just went in and did div, we know that would just find all the divs. But I want to go in and say find me all the divs where there's a title attribute first off, like you saw earlier. So let's go ahead and we'll wrap an alert around that so we can see the length. And right now you'll notice I have a div here with a title, and that should be the only one I have in the page. So let's go ahead and run that as is, and you'll notice that there's one available, which is correct. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's take it up one notch and let's go find a specific one. Let's add on this div a title as well. We'll just say contains table. So now we don't want to just find the div where there's a title, because that's going to return both of them, but we want the specific div that has div title. Alright, now at first glance you may look at this and say, well, why would you do that? Because if you know it's div title, this div has an ID. Well, let's just assume that maybe there's a couple divs that have that same title, and we want to find all of those divs that we don't know the ID necessarily. So we search for div title, and it does match the exact type of string. And let's just go ahead and put that in a divs collection. And we'll do an alert on, let's do divs, yeah, we'll just do length again. And run that. And so what's going to happen now is you'll see we just find the one. And let me change this up a little bit though. Let's change the case of the div to be a different case than what you see here. And run this now, and let's see what happens. And you can see it is case sensitive, so that's definitely something you'll have to watch out for. It's definitely something I've been bitten with personally when I wasn't paying attention and not really worrying about the uppercase or lowercase version of it. So out of the box you'll need to know about that, but that makes it really nice. Now that just finds divs with titles. Let's go in and find any input tag that we might have, and we could just do input tag, but let's say I want to find an input tag that type is text. Now if we scroll down to the bottom of the form, you'll notice I have a couple of those. I have one right there and one right there with type as text. And so now we'll say go find all the input tags where the type of the input tag, the attribute, has a value of text, and I believe we'll get 2 of those back unless I have some others I'm not thinking about. So yeah, we get 2 of those back now, you can see, and that matches up with that selector. And what's nice about this isn't divs anymore, it's inputs, I guess. And now, based on the little bit of syntax I've shown you, this is a jQuery object, so now it has full access to the jQuery API, and so we could do things like I showed earlier. And maybe we want to change the background color to, say, yellow of those particular inputs. So let's go ahead and run it. And you'll see that we've now changed our text boxes to be yellow, and it was super easy to work with. So that's an example of using ID selectors. Now at the end of this module, I'm going to have even more, because you may want to find where it starts with text, or ends with text, or it just contains the word text. Right now it has to be an equivalent match. It has to match character for character, and as I showed you, the case matters. There's some other more flexible things we can do though, and at the end of this module I'll run into that as well. But that is an introduction to using selectors in jQuery, and it's something that I use actually a fair amount. Very useful to know about, and something you'll definitely be applying as you work with jQuery more.